What are the three questions that relieve almost all conflict? As an attorney, last week it was a beating, and I had forgotten these three questions that I had come up with years ago as a tactic for me to constantly get conflict out of life. Now, being an attorney can be miserable. That's why attorneys generally are miserable people, because it's constant conflict in our life. We deal with other people's problems, and it's just not fun to deal with. So over the years, I had a little notebook. It used to be around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. So in this little notebook right here, I came up with, and I wrote down three questions that I think help get rid of all conflict. And here are the three questions. Now, the number one question that you ask somebody if you want to resolve a conflict is, can you teach me your point of view? That's the first question. Now, if you ask that question, there's something that's going to happen. Right before you ask that question, intellectually you might go, I really want to resolve this conflict. But there's going to be a hesitation to ask that question. And this is the first key thing that happens at this point. It really reflects on your heart. Now, the key to resolving conflict is to have an open heart, to have an understanding, a heart of peace, if you want to put it that way. But when you ask that question, there will be this almost hesitation to stop yourself to go, well, I don't really want to ask that question because I don't want them to teach me their point of view. And so I think that is the very first step that you have to get to and to resolve the conflict, is to be able to ask that question. Can you teach me your point of view? Now, after and while they are teaching your point of view, the goal is to be able to repeat back to them and teach them their point of view better than they can teach you. If you can seek that out when they are trying to teach you their point of view, you're trying to get to an understanding, a level that's above their understanding of their point of view. Once you can get to that point of that place, you can ask the second question. The second question is, do you feel that you have taught me your point of view? And if you can get to that question, do you feel, because you have repeated back to them their point of view better than they could have. So of course, if they answer the question, yes. Now, if they answer the question, no, I don't feel like I've taught you my point of view, you haven't taught them their point of view better. So you need to continue to listen and understand and get to that point. And then you ask the question until they answer, yes, I feel like I have taught you my point of view as best I can. The third question is, can I teach you my point of view? Now, this will tell you, where is their heart? Is their heart at the point that they want to resolve the conflict? Have they come to the point where they're willing to talk with you? And if they say no at this point, you just end it. You move on with your life. Now, if this, has to be resolved because the two conflicting interests that are involved require it to move on, then you have to move on with it. I mean, that's what attorneys do. You're getting divorced and two sides just refuse to reconcile, well, then it's not going to reconcile. But if you can get to that point, almost always, my experience has been, the person says, yes, teach me your point of view. And that is when they will listen to you. And then you got to go to Stephen Covey for the answer. You got to think win-win. No situation. The key to understanding conflict is you cannot manipulate people. Everybody, they're always a different way of approaching a situation, and it's finding that situation. But those are the three questions. Number one, ask, can you teach me your point of view? With the goal in mind that you're going to teach them back their point of view better than they taught you. Second question that you're going to ask, do you feel you've taught me your point of view? And the third question you ask, can I share you my point of view? And it works like gold. It really solves the main problem, in that it gets you to change your heart to the point where you're willing to listen and to be open to new ideas. And it softens their heart enough to potentially move forward. But those are the three questions that you need to ask if you want to resolve a conflict.